Britain saw some interesting times during the 1980s under the rule of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Before this time, Britain had an extremely conservative society and was in one of the largest depressions it ever saw. Businesses were struggling due to the widening gap capitalism created, and many people found themselves living off of welfare. During the era of Thatcherism, society saw a complete transformation both socially and economically. Its historically conservative traditions were being warped by the younger generations and their reactions to the new economic policies adopted by Thatcher and her cabinet. Social boundaries were being blurred in many different aspects. These changes in society were often explored by the film producers of the time. Films like Neil Jordan's Mona Lisa and Terry Gilliam's Brazil explored aspects that were of concern and importance to the society of the 1980s Britain, such as family values, sexuality, and capitalism. Mona Lisa has elements of a film noir displaying these aspects in real and raw British society of the time. Brazil, on the other hand, takes a more postmodern approach towards these topics, greatly exaggerating the fears that people had with these issues. This short film is going to investigate further these aspects of society and just how Mona Lisa and Brazil portrays them.
One of the biggest concerns in any society is family and familial values. Mona Lisa is a great representation of this time period in Britain. The character George is divorced from his wife, which seemed to be the trend of this time, as divorce rates increased during the 1980s under Thatcher's administration. In the beginning scene, George is seen yelling in anger at his ex-wife because she would not let him see his daughter. This makes him have a more aggravated personality because of the harsh relationship with his ex-wife and his absence from his daughter's life. This aggravation can also be seen in the scene where he yells at Simone as she exits the car.
You cow! And he came to say hello? Hello!
Comparatively, Brazil also shows a decline in family values. The issue of declining familial values is exaggerated as a SWAT team from the central government bursts into a quiet family setting and takes Bodo away from his wife and children in a violent fashion. Here, this is an exaggeration of what is seen in Mona Lisa, since instead of having an issue such as the trend of divorce disrupt the familial life, is a direct result of government intervention. In relation to the government, Britain under Thatcher was the epitome of capitalism. Society was encouraged to work and make their own money. Brazil is full of exaggerated signs of late capitalism. Guilliam includes such elements as marchers carrying posters which read, "Consumers for Christ," hideous baby-masked creatures pushing shopping carts covered with coffins, and ads for new designer air conditioning ducts to satirize capitalism. Specifically, the film primarily exemplifies the consequences of the economic cycle through its national economy and bureaucracy. In Brazil, everyone is seen working and processing paperwork mindlessly for an overly large and complicated government business. Sam's fantasy world directly interprets his distaste for the current industrialized and capitalist state of his nation, as well as demonstrates his yearning for a more traditional and simple society. Mona Lisa is greatly based on this venture capitalist economy. Capitalism is mainly portrayed through George and Simone, who both accept jobs that are not glamorous nor desired just to make money. This shows the desperation and determination of the characters to succeed. However, this desperation seems to define this society as a whole, and a moment where this becomes evident in the film is when a young prostitute admits to lying about who she is to make money.
But my name's May.
You told me your name was Kathy.
Yeah, well, I say whatever you want me to, don't I?
Look, stop doing that, will you? What were you doing there?
What do you think I was doing? I'm a working woman, aren't I? I can't live on fresh air. You gonna pay me?
Shut up. I only want to talk.
Yeah, well, it all adds up, doesn't it? I mean, it's my valuable time you're taking up. It costs.
All right, I'll pay you.
The film Mona Lisa, being centered around the shady life of a call girl, is ripe with sexual themes and content. Simone, who earns a living pleasing men, is revealed to be a lesbian, and despite her sexuality, she is called to the homes of men of every age and appearance. This can be related to the Thatcher era, during which Section 28, a law that prevented government or any local authority from promoting homosexuality, was passed. Support groups for gays, lesbians, and bisexuals were closed all over Britain because of the fear by council legal staff that they could breach the act. This fear is reflected through Simone's actions. She chooses to hide her sexuality behind her profession of pleasing men.
You like her, don't you?
Of course I like her.
Yeah, but you like her in that special way. In the songs.
What songs?
Well, I've sold myself for a couple of dikes.
She needs me, George.
And you needed me to get her.
You ever need someone?
All the time.
In Brazil, there are multiple scenes in which Sam is having sex with Jill and even romantically flying through the clouds with a superhero costume on, but these scenes all seem to be productions of Sam's mind. Sam's sexual fantasies about Jill are comparable to George's thoughts on Simone. He throws himself into a quest to find Kathy, fantasizing that if he can get Simone what she wants, he will be able to have her for himself.
As you saw, a comparison between the two films, Mona Lisa and Brazil, can be drawn from their themes ranging from capitalism to sexuality and even family values. Mona Lisa represents the time period between the 1980s in Britain, while Brazil was a far-fetched dystopian film that enlarged and exaggerated the concerns addressed in Mona Lisa. Although the two were very different in style and audience, they both draw roots to the culture and society of the 1980s Britain and the respective era of Thatcherism, whether it was the decline of family values, increased sexual promiscuity, or the separation of socioeconomic classes. We hope you enjoyed this video.